He's the host, Hall of Fame in his veins. The People's Podcast, where legacy reigns. Madden and NCAA, the talk of the town. Franchise and dynasty, we never back down. Legacy lives on every single day. Welcome to the People's Podcast, where legends play. The legacy of Madden and NCAA here to stay. Troy leading the way, in this game we trust. Franchise and dynasty, the People's Podcast. The passion and the drive, the spirit of the game. Champion mindset will never be the same. Hot topics and debates, we bring the heat. The legacy of greatness, can you feel the beat? The legacy lives on, strong and true. Welcome to the People's Podcast, where legends play. The legacy of Madden and NCAA here to stay. Troy leading the way, in this game we trust. Franchise and dynasty, the People's Podcast. The legacy.
All right. First and foremost, welcome to another episode of the People's Podcast, NCAA edition today. We got Realignment. We got the deep dive that dropped today. We're going to dive deep. Marty may like it a little bit too much, the diving, how deep we're about to get into this bad boy. But with that being said, welcome to another episode. We have phenomenal panel of guests here that are going to provide some expert opinion. And then what you guys have all been waiting for, we are going to drop the realignment, the conferences, who's where, and how is the structure for legacy going to work. Now, I will preface by saying nobody outside the commiss group and myself actually knows anything about the alignment and the conferences. I've kept the panel in the dark the entire time. So you're going to get initial reactions. Rain is going to give us his predictions on what the conference is going to look like. So first and foremost, let's bring on the man, the guru, the expert, Mr. Randy. How you doing, sir?
Jorge, all I have to say is that we're lucky that I drank all the beer in my house this weekend, because if not, I would have shotgun one right there. That new song was pretty good. It got the emotional juices flowing, man.
There you go.
I might have to go Snapchat Marnie after this mano to mano.
Hey, I'm glad you like it. Shout out to Todd. He gave me the idea earlier in the chat, so we gave it a run at, and I liked it. I like the way it came out. We talk about coming out. Let's bring on Mr. Marty onto the stage. There he is.
Let's go.
Yeah,
there he is. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Look at you with your jug, with your gallon of water there. Look at you. Cheers. Hey. I might should drink a little bit of water myself today. I'm trying to keep this a drunk-free podcast. Sorry. What? All right. So also joining the stage, we have a two. Is he a 2-time or a 3-time champ? I forget how many times this guy has won the Super Bowl. There he is, 2 times. Mr. Prime, how are you, sir?
Doing good, man. It's July, baby. We can't complain.
It is July.
It's almost time.
NCAA is almost a week away.
You had the perfect opportunity to introduce him as the man, almost as overhyped as his college football team. You had that opportunity.
Yeah. I like Prime. I don't want to do it to him. Plus, all I need to do is stop me by fucking 50 points when we play each other. So there's also a little friendliness going on there. And then also the guy who's in how do I say this? He's up Gordo more than anybody else in the world. Mr. Rico.
Yes,
how are you, sir?
I'm good. That song was fire, by the way.
Good. I'm glad you like it too, bro. I'm glad. And then the one guy who's probably the first to get fired, besides Julian from his college team, we have Mr. Uno also joining us. How are you, sir?
Go Dogs, baby. We're going 2 years at most.
Okay.
And it's off to Kennesaw State.
Yeah,
that's right. Because as Randy will tell us later, you get fired, you only downgrade from the prestigious school that you were at. So with that being said, Randy, I'm going to turn to you first. Give us 2 of the biggest. There's a lot of takeaways, but we're going to start out with the 2 biggest takeaways you had from the 86-page document that you've read now 16 times and the video that got released earlier today.
I think you're underestimating how many times I actually read it. Like I peruse that thing on the hourly, just trying to kind of recollect myself, understand what's going on. And my two biggest things that I took away is the depth that they have for skill trees and architect types for coaching. As and then I mean obviously the recruiting, so I'll kind of leave that for later. That's its own thing. But the other thing that I would like to talk about is just the detail into the mapping and pipelining for each university.
Okay, so talk to us about the coaches. So, you know, in Madden, there's never. I mean, you've had abilities, right? But they've been mostly like little boost upgrades in the game. Nothing really too crazy unless you spam the speed and the acceleration ones. What
Yes.
in your depth review here? What have you seen? Tell us a little more of the abilities. If you're talking to someone who doesn't know nothing.
So I'll break it down. So it kind of starts off whenever it. So I'll be honest. The video started and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna have three types of coachings." I was like, "Oh, this is just the same old fucking Madden, basic ass like RPG pick your coaching, where it's like one little thing and then you never care about it ever again." But then they're like, "Oh yeah, so we'll click recruiting, and then you have 85 options. Oh, and by the way, uh, of the three, you can break it. You can choose from different ones to make new archetypes." And the big thing that I noticed was that there's 11 different archetypes in the game. So like, if you have a recruiter who's also a motivator, then it becomes its own archetype. And so far with recruiter and tactician and motivator, you can actually hybrid these coaching aspects in in the spider skill tree to actually make your own kind of like idea of what you want your personnel to be used for. And the big thing that I liked about it is that as I read like the in-depth 85 page like a deep dive, I noticed that they brought in a lot of what they were calling RPG aspects. And you know, I'm not just a football fan or anything. I'm also a video game nerd. Like I love Baldur's Gate. I love games like that. And they were actually kind of talking in such a way that it's made it sound like they knew what they were doing from an actual video game aspect. Because a lot of times, what I've found is that they just kind of like they don't think that we're nerds. They don't think that we're addicts that play video. They look, oh, they're just no. We're here to role play a head coach at a football school or for a football team, and it was really interesting to actually see them be like, yeah, this is an RPG. Like you're a coach. There you go.
So, is it safe to say that no two coaches will be the same when you think about the league, or do you think some guys are going to kind of go down the same type of path, especially if it kind of leads into the recruiting side of it, if it gives you a boost there? Because I think at the end of the day, I think that's what we're all going to be focused on is on the recruiting side. But I did read some of those effects have in-game effects. So like when you're visiting, and I read one where it's a quarterback one, right? Where your quarterback is more calm when you're visiting a top 25 stadium as the away team. So he doesn't get rattled. And the little wiggly lines or the icon disappearing, this, that, and the other, that can play an effect also into the game.
Yeah. So what I'm going to be interested in, obviously, there's going to be a meta that's going to come out, and we're going to figure it out. But luckily, we're starting so new, and this game hasn't been out in 10 years, so nobody fucking knows what the meta is going to be, especially for franchise. Like that's not you're never going to see that. It's going to be mud, or whatever they want to call it, nut. Um, but yeah, you're not going to see the meta of franchise for a while. And the other thing I do think is that you're going to see the bigger schools, Florida, LSU, Georgia. Yes, we're going to go into recruiting first because we have a very large footprint. And that kind of goes back to the regions. They were much smarter with how they broke down regions. They broke it down into the hot spots from each state. So like they kind of said in the video, you know, New Jersey and New York are going to be together because they don't produce that many athletes.
Right.
Same thing with, if I'd have to guess, the rest of the Northeast, so that'd be Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut. That's all going to be one. But then they went to Florida, and they're like, okay, so first you got to break down the Orlando area, because Orlando has a boatload of athletes, and then you're gonna have like the Central Florida, which I guess would be kind of like your Tampa area. My Florida state geography isn't the best.
Yeah, so your Central Florida kind of encompasses Orlando, Tampa,
Okay.
and then you have your South Florida, which would be your Miami,
Yeah,
and
and then you're
down south.
yeah, but then North Florida obviously would be Tallahassee.
That
It'll be a
Jacksonville area, yeah.
Jacksonville. Yep. So it was very interesting how they were able to break down that. But kind of bringing it back. So like for someone for LSU or Florida who like we recruit, I'm LSU. So my first thought as an LSU fan and an LSU coach, I'm going to recruit Louisiana, because there's always been a thing that if you lock down Louisiana as the LSU football coach, you win national championships. But another thing that a lot of people don't know is that LSU is probably top 3 in East Texas. Like we beat Texas A&M for recruits all the time. And what that goes back to is of all the kids that moved from New Orleans to the Houston area after Hurricane Katrina. So there is a lot of Louisiana natives that moved there in the past because of that. So like as a recruiter, I'm going to hit those areas hard and fast because I am a big school. Like everybody wants to go to LSU from Louisiana. But what you might see is like Toddy at Colorado State. He might go motivator so that, he might get 2 and 3 stars, but at least then he's maximizing the potential of those 2 or 3 stars. Florida and LSU might get some 4 stars and say, you know what, you're not good enough. You can leave.
Yeah, that's I read that too. You can actually trim your roster down and even get below the max. You can tell players on your team, and Prime, I'm gonna come to you here because consider we have Prime on the podcast. You can pull a Prime and tell them, hey, I'm bringing my own Louis. You guys can hit the transfer portal, and you can tell players to leave your team. Now, Prime, you guys are in Colorado. You heard some of the stuff that Randy's talking about. What kind of goes through your head as a thought process of a potential strategy with a school like Colorado, who's, I think right now probably has a solid kind of pipeline with what Deion's done there in the past. How does that translate to what you're thinking about?
I don't know, man. It's interesting. I know. Yet I don't know how much talent comes out there, But as far as the region where they're near, I'm hoping I can. I don't know. It seems like from what I understand, especially from what Randy's saying, it seems very competitive as far as region is going to be very important. Some of the kids you're scouting, obviously, a lot of them are going to want to stay close to home. So I'm very curious, man. I know Colorado is one of those teams. That was one of the reasons why I didn't want to pick them, because I felt like that was going to be one of the weaknesses, of course. But we'll see. I don't know, man. It's interesting.
Rico, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm in a shitty situation because I got Michigan to compete with, and this team sucks. And I'm gonna run it into the ground, so we're not gonna have a good time.
All right, Uno, you got Georgia.
Yeah. The cool part about Georgia is
that's a loaded squad. So my question to you is, how do you keep the talent on the team? Because again, you become very transfer portal potential, where people can start nipping players off your team if they're hitting the portals because they're not getting playing time, this, that, and the other. And that high overall team, and it could be hard to recruit players to Georgia because those, because one of the things I saw was about playing time. Well, if you got, you do this 90 overall, you can't tell this freshman, you won't get playing time because he's not.
So the good thing about Georgia is year in, year out, they always got a top 3.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter about Georgia. Fuck
Get
Georgia.
Get fucked.
I'm kidding. Uno. Only time I'm gonna do it to you, Uno.
We're going right into Florida and taking all the recruits. That's how it works.
Oh, then you say that. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so one thing this is one of my small complaints, which if we're getting this deep into the college football weeds, then it's probably good. So I listen to a lot of college football podcasts, and one of the big things that they talk about is how do you, as Florida, tell a kid at Georgia that you want him? because they can't talk. So one thing that y'all might not know is that they cannot go and talk to that person. That is still against the rules. They can't tell you, hey,
Right.
come here, we'll give you more money or we'll give you more playing time. They can't do that. And the way the guy said it, the guy being a recruiter for LSU, he said, you know what, we don't have to talk to them directly. We can like an Instagram post. We can
Mhm.
we can retweet a message from them. We can talk to family members, and we can do those things around them to get them to know that there's some sort of interest there, and then they contact us. And if they contact us, then it's open. Then we're now in an open conversation that is legal. And I was
Yeah,
watching the
once you get
video.
that friend request,
Yeah, yeah,
on social media,
yeah.
then
They
they'll be
hit
like,
you with that
"Oh, there we
DM.
go."
Yo, we're all 20 somethings. We know what the DM means.
Yeah, that's right.
But the one thing that I saw was that they do have those things already for recruiting. So it'd be cool if you can kind of go in, but it would be much more like volatile, right? Like if you do it and it doesn't work, then that's like it should be worth a lot, because that is, because you that's like public humiliation. Like, oh,
Right.
so and
Hey,
so
you
tried
like a
to,
kid's
yeah,
photo or you retweet,
yeah,
and then
so and so
he
tried
just
to get me, and I'm
ignores
not
you.
talking about that. Yeah, that should be like a hit to your fucking pipeline or whatever, or some type of credit, like your
Right.
prestige. That would be a good one. Your prestige.
Yeah.
So that was something that was like my only problem. But once again, if my biggest problem is that I can't fucking pull Toddy's quarterback out of him out of spite, then it's probably a good thing.
Well, he's probably gonna go to Prime.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna go to Colorado anyway. So,
Yeah.
he probably will do it for you, Marty. So I know you're not in the league, right? But
Right.
kind of seeing all this and kind of hearing all this conversation, what are your kind of thoughts on it all?
I mean, I think one of the biggest takeaways, and I think Declan was busting Cozy's balls about it earlier, was like how is Cozy going to do with Georgia Southern? I feel like it's just one of those smaller schools, and like Randy brought up with the whole recruiting thing. You know, if it's going to be Georgia Southern and Georgia battling recruits, I mean, you know, Georgia's going to smoke them. So, you know, I don't really know how Cozy's going to handle it. I'm excited to see what he does, but I don't know. Like, if this was me and I was picking a team in the league, I definitely would have went with a bigger school, probably Penn State. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what Cozy does and what his plan
Yeah,
is.
him and Beast, because Beast picked Army,
Yeah, and Beast too.
and that's gonna be. I mean, from recruiting, but again,
Army's
I think
in New York,
also,
though.
what's that?
Army's in New York, so
Right. Yeah. Right. So they'll have a decent
footprint.
kind of recruiting, footprint there to kind of do that stuff. It'll be interesting. I think it will be interesting to see how that all occurs. But again, you know what? To be honest with you, they could be playing chess, right? You take the lower level school, you see how the game rolls out, you do well, you win 4 or 5 games, you get promoted to a bigger time job that's open. Now you see what the game is like, this, that, and the other. And maybe that's a backdoor channel to it. I don't know. I'm not speaking for him. I'm just throwing another idea out there.
Are we doing that? Like, are we like if you get fired or if you get, you know, like, are we definitely going to have, like, let's just say Uno gets fired from Georgia? Like, is he going to stay in the league and then pick another team? Is that what we're doing?
I officially, I don't know the answer to that. Rainey, you may be able to give us elite chat insight there.
As of now, until we see anything otherwise, yes.
Okay.
You will.
So,
Because there was a little bit of a, not uproar or anything, but like a realization from the whole elite gathering squad that was like, oh wait, I don't have to go LSU. I can go play at ULM and then slowly make my way to LSU.
Right.
And we actually had a conversation going further, like, what if we forced all the players to go, or all the users to go into this like Sunbelt, AAC,
The lower
SUSA.
FCS schools. Yeah, the lower FCS schools.
Yep. Go to all the shitty schools, build those rivalries, and then spread out so that fucking, oh, I was UL, fucking Rico was North Texas Mean Green. We fucking had a bitter rivalry. Now I'm the coach of LSU. He's the coach of Texas A&M, and it's the fucking same. Like, just to breed
that
like
would've been
even deeper rivalry.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But and again, hey, Randy, correct me on this. If you get fired from your school, you have to downgrade
Yeah.
a prestige level. of your coaching. So, for example, if Uno gets fired from Georgia, he can't then go pivot to Alabama.
Yeah, so obviously, some of it will have to do with like prestige. So as the head coach from Georgia, you'll already have the prestige. So you might be able to go to not an Alabama per se, but a fucking South Carolina.
Missouri or South
Yeah,
Carolina, Ole Miss
yeah,
type of
like
school.
he might be able to go to there, but that also includes that from what everything I've read, the AI is smart enough that like they're not Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, pretty strong. Even if Lane Kiffin went 4-12, 4-8 in a year, they're not gonna fire him. So like they do take that into consideration that like I'm not gonna fire this guy to go grab you when you had a bad season. So like like the AI has to see that this is an actual upgrade to what we have in place. And what that also leads to is that for the coaching carousel, what we're seeing is that it's asynchronous, meaning that say okay, LSU, say I went the first 2 years I go 7-5, and then that's third year I go 9-3, but I'm in the playoffs, and then I get blown out in the playoffs. So now we're talking about like we're in January, and I get fired. Well, some of those jobs are already gone
Already
because some
taken, yeah.
yes, because and that's what that asynchronous means is that like if you like if you're looking for a job early, you get the job faster than the guys that come out later. And same way, if Florida Jorge is in the championship, someone might poach his offensive coordinator, and now he can't hire a new one until after he's done with the
With the bowl
championship.
game, with the
Yeah,
championship game, right?
so
Or you
that's
can lose it to the NFL. Not
yeah,
even another program. You can
yeah,
lose
that was
a
cool.
coordinator to the league, which I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yep. And then the one other thing I wanted to discuss with that is I thought this was really in depth is that you can accept a new coaching offer. So like say Cozy at Georgia Southern decides, fuck this, I want to go play at Ole Miss, he can accept that offer, but finish the season. So, like, if his team's in
Wow.
a bowl game and he accepts it in the beginning of the year or the beginning of the offseason, the coaching offer goes away. Like, no one else can get the job, and he can still finish that season, win the game, and then switch. So that's like extreme in depth, right? Because that's something that you don't see, but you know happens.
Right.
And I just thought that was a lot of detail.
That was huge. All right, so we're 25 minutes in. Who wants to get some legacy details? Or Randy, is there one more thing you want to cover?
Jorge, we're not even through a third of my list. I have a whole list here, and like we haven't even recruiting yet. It's like a whole.
Recruiting's gonna be its own separate podcast for just
Okay.
recruiting. Recruiting's gonna be its own separate podcast. We'll do that when you and I on a solo.
Okay,
on a
we
solo
can.
win
Okay,
there.
so I'll build into the custom conferences thing, right? Because I
There
read
you
about
go.
that as well. So you will be able to play with the schedule as you want, but things that they did take into account is like like the Texas Oklahoma game is always played on. I think it's the second week of October or the third week of
Yeah, I think
October,
so.
something
Give me
like
the
that.
second.
Yeah, so like that's all that is incorporated, so that will always be shown, even if you sim 10 years, that's still going to be there, which I thought was again really good detail. As well as for custom conferences, it looked so one thing you couldn't do in NCAA 14 was kill a conference.
Right.
So and what that meant was like, say I wanted to erase the Pac-12, I couldn't. I had to leave one team no matter what, and that's because it was hard coded in the back of the game. But we don't need to go that far. You can do that now. You can just take out conferences. So that'll lead to something I thought about, but so like that's just more detail that we didn't see back then. That it's cool to see that they actually went back there and were like, oh, this was a problem that these fuckers have been dealing with for 10 years. Let's fix that. It's just pretty cool to see.
Did you see too that the patch on the jerseys changed with when they changed their conferences?
That's
Yep,
awesome.
they also
That's sick.
brought in the pride stickers. So like
Yeah.
Ohio State has the Buckeyes. It's you start the beginning of the season with none.
Yeah.
And as you progress through the season, they get more based on the touchdowns and everything. So that'll actually be part of the of the continuation.
Which
I thought
again,
that
that's pretty granular detail. I mean, to
That-
change a patch, or just
Yeah.
the fact the patch is even there. First of all,
Yeah.
to then change it as it changes conferences is pretty cool. Marty, would you have?
Just touching on presentation real quick, and I brought this up a couple days ago, was the stadium and the fans. Like if you're a smaller school, the stadium's not going to be packed out right away. It's going to be, I don't know, 10,000 people, whatever it's going to be, however many it is. But as you move on and you start doing good and good and good, they pack the stadiums up, and I love how they do that because they've never done this with Madden. They've never really paid attention to the fans, and them doing that. It's just one of the smaller details that I just love. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, and also to that point, vice versa. If you're losing games, people aren't going to show up
Yeah.
to your game. So if you're Georgia, and I keep using Uno because he's here, and Uno struggles to win some games, after a year or two, you may start getting that stadium where it's a third
Yeah.
of the people are there. And when you're playing these games that are very meaningless, where you're playing, some lower level teams, this and the other, it could be an empty, kind of look there, which, kind of could be pretty. Again, it's pretty cool. Again, to your point, Marty, the fact they even thought about the fans,
Yeah.
right, aspect of it to the game. The one thing that I think I haven't seen nothing, I don't think it's in there, but that I personally think would be so freaking cool that if you, let's say, Army gets an upset win, or you get a big win, that they storm the field.
I was about to. That's something I'm
That
curious
would have
about.
been. Oh, that would have been.
But we
that
don't
would've
know
been
yet,
good.
right?
We don't know.
Right?
You're right.
Yeah,
It
right.
could be there.
That
I
could
got
be
another
something that they're
question for
pulling out
Randy.
later. Well, go ahead.
So speaking of the fans, like that whole if you keep winning, the fans will show up. I don't know if they confirm this. This is why I'm asking you. If it's a blowout and you're at home, do fans leave the stadium?
I have
Or we
no
don't know
idea.
that yet.
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
It'd be
one
cool if
that
they did though.
yeah,
that'd be-
that would
it's
be
like-
really cool.
It's the
That'd
little
be
details,
really,
you know.
really cool.
Because they do that in the show. Like if you're blowing somebody out in MLB The Show, the fans will just clear out, and you'll see empty sections, and it's that's just the little things. You know what I mean?
You,
So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see that.
one thing that I thought was I'm curious to see how it goes forward, but they actually brought this up, which I thought was was intriguing, because we've talked about this as well in kind of in the back room and just in general in the hype room. But so they did say that you can change positions, and that is a part that is significant in the game, and it kind of goes back to NCAA 14, where you would get the athlete, and the athlete could be a wide receiver, QB, cornerback, and he was good at all of them. But they also used the fact that you could pull an edge rusher into the D line, and that goes actually to things that Roy and I have talked about, is that a lot of times you'll see this in college, is that you're finding guys who played one position in high school because that's where they had to play. So you do see much more that a defensive end might come into the interior defensive line. I'm curious to see how far they go with that. Well, because obviously, you might have a 275-pound defensive end that you move to interior. Will you be able to add weight to him? Is that going to be something you'll see in the offseason? Is that I need him to add weight? I need him to get into the weight room. And then another thing I thought was really interesting about this was that you have to maintain your GPA. So that is actually a part. You have to go to my school, they said, and your GPA is part of your team.
It's starting to sound like a full-time job, Randy.
Dude, it's fucking dude, this is what I want. This is the fucking shit I need in the veins.
Sounds like a full-time job. I mean,
I should be able to bench the QB for making an F. That should be in the fucking cards, son. This is college football.
Man. So Prime, does that mean you're gonna force your kids to go watch Shadur Sanders' rap video? Are you gonna bench them? Is that what's gonna happen? You guys gonna carry on that tradition over there in Colorado? All right, so I want to pivot to legacy a little bit.
Yep.
because I do want to give the people a little bit of the other part they want. First and foremost, Randy, I'm actually not going to start with you. Okay, Rico.
What up?
Conferences. Who would you, if you had your dream 7 or dream 8, dream 5, dream 4, whatever that is, who would you want to have in your conference? Call them out.
The problem is the people that I want aren't playing.
All right, Rico, that was pointless for me to start with you. All right, Prime, who would you want in your conference?
I want Toddy in my conference for sure. Toddy, give me Jalen. I would say Marnie, but he's not in the league. Marnie would have been in there. You, Jorge, for sure. You. Man, I don't know. There's so many users, bro. If Water had a better team, I'd definitely say Water. But it's like Illinois. I'm not gonna really.
Quit being confident. Shoot for I want LJ. I want fucking Toddy. Give me Chase. Don't fucking be cool. Just fucking pick the ones that you can beat the fuck out of.
That's it.
Abuse the little brothers, bro. Abuse the little brothers.
I did name the ones I can beat the fuck out of. What are you talking about, bro?
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Uno, give me yours. Who do you want?
So the big thing for me was I wanted to be Georgia. So I want to play the SEC teams. I want to have those big SEC rivalries. So no one in particular, but being able to play Florida, obviously. I wish someone took Bama, but no one took Bama. But those kind of teams. And then if Cooley can come over from Utah, we got an ass whooping waiting in Athens for him.
Okay.
And Clay in South Carolina.
And Clay. There you go. All right, Randy. Now, I know you have a mock. So, again, for the people on the podcast, we're about to reveal some of the details behind the conferences and then ultimately the conferences. Randy does not know at all. No one knows, actually, besides me and the 3 other commissioners in the league. So, Randy, give us a projection here of what you think may be a potential alignment. Give us a forecast.
Okay, so the first thing I did was look at all 32 users and their teams, and we actually got extremely lucky that all the teams were actually fucking bunched up. So for instance, so I went with 4 groups of 8 because that's kind of makes it the most. I wanted to do Power 5 because that's that's the old school that everybody's kind of used to until now. But you can't fucking break down 32 teams into a group of 5. So I went with 4 groups of 8, and it actually came out very fucking good. So in the Pac-12, Pac-8, whatever, I have Aloha, Hawaii. Then I have Colorado State with Toddy, San Diego State with Roy, UCLA Lamp, USC Chase, Utah Cooley, Colorado Prime, Oregon Share. That's 8 teams. That's all West Coast. That is actually perfect. That is regional. That is fucking a happy fucking college mind. It's oh my God, there you go. It fucking stays the same, right? So before I continue on, do we want to talk about that? How does everyone else feel about something like that with the regions?
Well, I think you're giving it a logical approach.
Yeah.
Right. You're saying, okay, all these teams are in this kind of region, group them up, put them together, put a ball in it, move on with life. And I mean, not for nothing, I think competition-wise, it's decently balanced out too. And
that's the other thing is that because I went by this there's a pattern, but it's a random base, right? And that's where this all comes from. So next, the ACC, which is East Coast. This is the only fucking caveat to my entire fucking 32-man roster. I have MK with Virginia Tech, Moosey, UNC, Dimes, Clemson, King K, Miami, Julian, FSU, Montas, UCF, Cozy, Georgia Southern, but then fucking JJ's TCU. The only literally, you'll see 31 out of 32 users is perfect. because we continue. SEC, I don't even have to fuck with. The SEC is just the SEC.
It's pretty much set.
Yeah, it's fucking LSU, Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Texas A&M, South Carolina, Texas, Georgia. Done. Like that is already the fucking SEC. And then finally, Big Ten, Rutgers, Toucan, Army, Beast, Virginia, Fatty, Michigan, Ramrod, Michigan State, Rico, Wisconsin, Shooter, Illinois, Water, Ohio State, AJ. The only one I had to add to that was Army. And I chose Army for the Big Ten because that is the northeastern region, and Army is in New York. So I was like, that's fucking perfect. So all 4 conferences actually made a cute little fucking bow, and I was real about that. And what this also does, it allows us to make a. This is just after, in hindsight, I thought about it. It was actually like, so we have the 5th one, the Big 12. Big 12, you get to put all of the fucking computers, so the computer always has one champion. And obviously, who's not in all these? Alabama. So we'd always have one champion from the computers to fucking rain hell.
Okay. That's Marnie, initial reactions there.
Honestly, Randy, I think you perfected that. Like, not even trying to decry, like that was like perfected, dude. Like,
I mean, it was logical.
The way that you did it, that's what I'm saying. The way you did it is perfect. I mean, however it is set up, I think it'll work out. But like the way that you did it, it's like perfect sense.
Brian, what are your thoughts there? Potentially, I mean, obviously, up there with Toddy and Aloha and Roy, the 3 commish up in the same Pac-12. Potentially, what are your thoughts there?
As well. I mean, my main thing is just I like competition, and seeing Lamp, Aloha, Toddy, all of them. It was gonna be, yeah. I like it. I mean, it makes logical sense, of course. So, I can't complain about mine. Absolutely.
So we do have a commish chiming in here. Logic is done. That's it.
God
Logic
damn
is
it.
done. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna give you a little something. So first and foremost, I'm gonna give you the details of the league, not the conferences, just how it's gonna be set up, kind of organized, and then we'll pivot to the first reveal. So, all right, here we have here. So we're gonna have 4. It's gonna be the Power 4. The four conferences gonna be the SEC, ACC, the Big 12, and the Pac. This includes 9 team divisions, 8 users, 1 CPU. Alignment is done on teams, not geographical locations. So, Randy, take all your logical sense about where teams are located, throw it out the fucking window. It's based on teams, not geographical locations. Schedules. You're going to have 7 conference games, 7 user conference games, 1 CPU. You're also going to have 2 out-of-conference games. 2 user, 2 CPU. Gives you a total breakdown of 12 games per season. 9 are going to be user games, 3 are CPU games. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. Every user can submit 1 out-of-conference request for user and CPU game to be added. So of those 2 out-of-conference CPU games, you get to submit a request of who you want to play. So if one year I want to go, let's say, I'll use Florida as an example, and me and Prime talk to each other. I was like, hey, let's do a little home and away situation. Prime can submit a request saying I want to play Florida. I'll submit a request saying I want to play Colorado. And that'd be one of my out-of-conference games if we're not in the same conference, potentially. All right. And again, it's also to change based on what actually we're able to do in the game. Now, before I reveal anything else, let's break this down. There's a lot of stuff right here. What are your initial thoughts when you see this?
I mean, the first thing that I was thinking of is just the out of conference game that you can submit. I'm glad that that's one thing that I was worried they weren't going to be willing to do, because I know that's a lot more work for them. But I'm happy. One is, I think that's a good decision. And then as far as the CPU games, I mean, I think, what is it? How many? A total of 3 CPU games and 9 user games. I mean, I think that's as good as you can get it. So, Overall, I mean, we'll see what the conferences look like, but as of right now, I think I like what their game plan is as far as what I can see.
Rico, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think this one's really good. I'm really glad that we can submit submit the game that we want, which is really nice.
Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but at least you can put in a
Right,
request.
yeah.
Again, if everybody wants to play water, not everybody can play water.
I will not want to play water. I'm going to request to not play water.
There you go. All right. Uno?
Big fan. This is actually really cool. I like how they did it. I definitely like the submit one for out of conference. That's super cool.
Yeah, seems to be a very
wouldn't
popular
even have thought of
choice.
that. But I'm definitely making Bama my CPU game for sure.
Now, it's interesting.
It could be a
To
conference.
that point, Uno, it'll be interesting how users choose to either make it a, like you're playing a shit school as one of your CPU games, or to your point, Uno, are you going to play a Bama? Are you going to play a top dog, a top ranked CPU to help you in the rankings? Because it may be a game, and kind of going back to Randy, I'm going to come to you. I left you last intentionally, thinking about the recruiting aspect of it. If I'm competing with, let's say, a Bama for a young man from high school that I want him to attend Florida, what better way to persuade his interest than by inviting him to that Bama game at home in Gainesville, and then hopefully beating the shit out of Bama. Now, you run that risk that you could lose that game also, and it has a negative effect to it. But Randy, and all this here compact, what are your initial thoughts here?
Everything's good except the alignment. The whole aspect of college is that it is regional, so losing it is gonna suck. Just because most of our childhoods were built off of shit of these rivalries and stuff that you're gonna lose if you do the spread out thing. And also, I think I'm curious to see how they separate the divisions, because right now you have a good mix of good users and bad users to balance it all out, like you would see in real life. So just to see what it's gonna be, but I swear to God, if I have fucking Oregon in the SEC, fucking Southeastern Conference, let's go play the fucking most Northwest competent team. That's gonna suck. It just takes the realism away, which I guess it's a fucking video game, and I'll just do it on my offline franchise. But yeah.
Well, I think with that being said, let's reveal our first division, or first conference. First of all, actually, before I do, chat, what are your thoughts about everything? Another commission chiming in, saying,
Yeah.
"Dude, we got airplanes now, Randy. It's okay. Everybody flies charter. We're not in the WNBA, bro." All right, first conference is going to be the pack, the new pack, 12, or the pack 8 or 9. Actually, you could say, here's your first one here. Boom. So we got Toddy, Cozy, Aloha, LJ, Roy, Cooley, Lamp, Chase, and Washington is the CPU. So, first thoughts here, obviously, to Randy's point, right? You got Georgia State that's going,
Southern, Georgia Southern.
or Georgia Southern. That's a lot of West Coast kind of games there, along with Texas. But other than that, what are your thoughts? I'll start with, let's go. Do we have anybody here? No, we don't. Let's go. Uno, what are your thoughts here?
This is interesting. This is not at all what I would have predicted. Texas being there is kind of Georgia Southern's just chilling there too. Lamp and Chase at least got the UCLA USC rivalry to continue over there. But I like it. It's pretty good. I wonder what the thought process behind Washington was. But besides that, I like it.
Marnie?
I mean, I like Randy's idea better, but again, I'm not in the league, so my opinion really doesn't matter.
All right. Well, I think there's 3 commish in the in that same Pac-12. You got Toddy, Aloha, and Roy, and you got a backup commish, Mr. LJ, in there. So I think it's interesting group of people for sure. Some of the comments are kind of rolling in. You know, Declan seems to think it's a Mickey ass division. Kind of asking, what is this?
This might be Lamb.
Yeah.
What team is he? Tennessee? Tennessee gonna be open
I
soon,
see a
Marty.
couple conference championships from UCLA.
Oh, okay. UCLA Lamp
Yeah.
may have that on lockdown.
Don't be sleeping on Colorado State.
Colorado
I'm
State.
snoring, bro. I am snoring.
I am snoring. Oh, that's good. No one caught that one. All right. The next one we're going to do is the AC. So we're going to, here you go. Here's your ACC. So you got Water, Dimes, Clay, Eric. You got Cody, Moosey, MK, Fatty, and then your CPU there is Auburn.
They just
And then,
sped them along.
interesting point that Toddy brings up: divisions do not have to stay the same year to year. That's interesting as well, because again, there's teams that move conferences and divisions all the time. So, Randy, I'm gonna start with you here on this one first. What are your thoughts on this in the setup? I know you're disappointed because you had such a logical grouping. So I need you to get over it. I need you to get over it. I know your butt hurts a little bit. You fucking get over it.
No, it's no. I love Aloha, Toddy, and Roy, but they're from the West Coast and probably don't watch college football. So seeing Auburn in the ACC where they don't play Alabama every year fucking sucks.
Well, I think that's one game is still probably stay the same, right?
Hopefully, right? But it doesn't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
a
now
CPU.
because
Yeah, but they're both GUs.
I'm just using the one example, right? Clemson can play Florida State, but they can't play Louisville. Like there's a bunch of them like that, and obviously it won't matter because we're just trying to play against each other. But it just sucks to lose a little bit of realism.
Water gonna cook.
I mean, yeah.
No, the problem is Waters, Illinois, and that Illinois team's going to be garbage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to think about that. Like, he's not going to be like, yeah, Water plays mad and good, but it's still
Like that
Illinois.
Clemson team with Dimes is going to be so probably 20 overalls higher than Illinois.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The same thing goes for Beast with Navy. Like, he's just going to run the ball.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Here, what do we
This
do?
one
We
probably
do
will make a little more
ACC?
sense.
Oh, let's go the big. Let's do that one next. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so this one here, you got Cherokee, you got Julian, Ramrod, Rico, Montas, JJ, Beast, Toucan, and then Notre Dame is the CPU here. What do we think about this conference?
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's very, it is interesting.
This is a conference of all time.
This is
JJV's Toucan, man.
Why the fuck is Toucan traveling to Oregon if that's the case, or vice versa?
Dog, Julian's going to Oregon. That's Florida to Oregon.
Yeah, right?
well, in real life, USC's got to travel to Rutgers this year.
Oh, and so does UCF there, for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last one, which I mean I think is like the gauntlet.
Yeah. It
Personally.
seems like it.
All right, here's your SEC. You got
Jesus.
Uno, King K, myself, Randy, Prime. Welcome, Mr. Colorado,
Fucking
Jalen, AJ, Declan, and then Bama is the
Jesus.
CPU.
If you had a
Fire
if you had
easy, bro.
if you had a decent team and you're not in this conference, they insulted you.
Yeah.
straight up, like Ramrod, you should be insulted. You have Michigan and you're not in this conference. That means that they think you're trash.
Why the fuck is Declan there?
Like
Poor
that's
Declan. Bro,
that's
poor
what that
Declan.
means.
Declan's gonna get
This
smoked,
is
bro.
the conference right here, bro. This is a conference. You got Uno Kincaid, Randy Prime, Jalen, AJ Declan, and then throw in there Alabama, who's going
What
to be
is Declan
a
doing in
bitch of a
this?
CPU to play, anyways.
Jesus Christ.
Nobody in their right mind is gonna sign with Alabama now.
Yeah, why would you? Why would you want to join our conference?
What a crazy conference this is.
Yeah. This is nuts.
My God.
Yeah, well, listen, we got four of us are on the pod. Prime, what are your thoughts here? You said you wanted comp.
Oh,
Here you
yeah,
go,
man.
bro.
I love
Prime.
it.
Good luck, bro.
I love the conference. I mean, and what I like about it, because that's the thing that I was thinking about the other conferences. I mean, obviously, not everybody took powerhouse schools, and obviously, I get that. But every team in here is a well above average program. And they're good users, good programs. So yeah, it'll be fun. I love this division or this conference.
The first firing is coming from the SEC
Yeah,
for
it's gonna be
sure.
Tennessee.
For
Because
sure. High
there's no
expectations.
way that we're all playing each other and going 7-3. There's no way.
I think the SEC is going to see a new champion every year, for sure.
Gonna rotate.
I mean, it's going to be pretty nuts. I
Yeah,
think.
no offense,
you better
Prime.
capitalize it while you can, bro.
No offense, Prime, but you're not gonna do well in here. Like recruiting, because the rest of these teams are in a pipeline of a five, like where we're gonna get 5 stars that want to stay in house, whereas you're stuck in Colorado. You could win. I'm just saying that recruiting wise,
Oh,
it's
no, yeah.
gonna suck, because like you're gonna consistently you're consistently handicapped.
No, I agree. I mean, that was one of the things I expected when I was picking Colorado, and that's the reason why I was kind of in between. I mean, one of the teams that I really wanted, that I was going back and forth, was Notre Dame because of the reason of the national recruiting of capabilities. But no, I agree 100%. It'll be tough. I mean, all these programs here, I mean, are flooded with talent. I mean, Jesus.
And this also, the other problem with these 4 is how will this affect the conference prestige that we'll have for recruiting? Like not year 1, but even year 1. Like whenever you first join, I assume that the conference prestige is going to be the same. So like we're going through it. Like if there's a recruit that cares about conference prestige, the SEC
Yeah, they're not going to the Pac-12.
the SEC will already be
pick the
booted.
SEC first.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like that'll be hard coded in, but then after 6 or 7 years, it'll kind of reset. But it's gonna reset where all of these teams are gonna get punished for playing against good schools.
Now, I do wonder because again, the SEC, you do have the East and West.
Not anymore.
Not anymore with this, right? Just one. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. So that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. It's going
So
to
it's
be
just the top
interesting.
2 teams are play for the SEC championship. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yep. Man, that's my schedule every year, boy.
A fun
Uno
year.
Kincaid, Randy Prime, Jalen.
Can you pull up the? Is there any way you can pull them up side by side, like each, so that we could see?
Yeah, like quadrants?
Quadrants to see everything.
Yeah.
Because we have to play 2, just to see. Like we'll have to play 2 out of conference users and 2 out of conference computers.
Correct. It's going to take me a second, so keep talking. Initial thoughts? Keep yapping. What do you guys think?
Epilepsy is who's going undefeated first in the SEC?
There you go. Let's speculate. Who's going to win each one?
Someone's going to fall behind in the SEC, which is going to be crazy.
I need to see all 4 before I can, because I don't remember who's all in all 4 to see who's the champion.
Well, I think that's going to be the case for all conferences. Someone's going to fall behind in each conference and get fired.
Declan is getting fired immediately.
Oh my God, bro. See ya.
Tennessee's got a dog at quarterback though. He's
Water is moving Illinois into the Beast Conference in 2 years. So I wish Toddy was here so that we could talk about how he chose these. Like, I wish that I knew their thought process.
You'll see.
Yeah, was it team tiers? Is that what it was? Just
Yeah,
by
is it
tiers?
like tiered teams? Because
I
the
feel
one
that's
like
the case.
this kind
But
of goes
that's-
back to real life where the SEC is having the same situation where it's like the SEC might have 7 of the top 10 teams in the nation, but obviously they're not going to make it into the playoffs. So those first few years, until everybody balances out, we're going to be handicapped. Which I don't really care about that. I care more about the loss of the regional shit. Toddy said yes, teams first, then users.
Interesting. I want to see. I need to see the other conferences now and see who
Yeah, I want to.
who they snubbed out of what.
I'm working on it.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm down Jamal Adams.
Declan's really overestimating Imaliava.
Dude,
Bro's gonna
is
Bro's
projected
gonna
to
be
have-
like an 82 overall.
Tennessee has the number 1 projected pick on their team for 2025, an edge rusher.
Dude, that's what every school is saying right now.
It's look at the mock drafts though. It's some guy named Pierce, I think, some
Yeah.
defensive guy.
Will Campbell's also projected top 3 at LSU. I don't believe any of that shit because you never know what's gonna happen.
Carson Beck's going number 1 next year.
I saw that. Did the same shit about Spencer Rattler. And then obviously
Rattler was always trash, bro.
nah, he was projected number 1 when he was at Oklahoma. Or whatever team he was at. And then
He got
Yeah,
benched
he
though
just-
that year, didn't he?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if you're projected number 1, you got a
I don't
shot.
know if there's any way if Carson Beck gets benched, UGA season went terribly. Something went really wrong.
Carson Beck he's cool.
We poached Florida's running back, Travis Etienne's brother. I'm gonna run him into the ground. He will be the new Sean Muro.
I watched
Is
both
that
of
where
those
he's at
guys
now,
play in
Georgia?
high school. Both the Etienne brothers grew up like 30 minutes from where I live.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
2 dogs.
And then I was, I've said this story before, but I was Jaquelin Roy, who's a defensive tackle for the Vikings. I was his boss.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
I was his boss in high school.
Where'd he go to college?
LSU.
LSU? Did he get? It was this year, right? He got drafted
He got drafted, I think, last year.
last year.
It was last year. Same thing with Mike Hollins.
We'll be right
He's
back.
Mike Hollins was the running back for Virginia Tech. I was his boss. I played football against a couple of LSU commits. Fucking Louisiana is a fucking hotbed.
Oh, for sure. Just really the
Oh.
South in general.
Yeah, what's the running back's name from San Francisco?
Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell. I watched him play in high school too. I
He's
watched
a
Devontae
Louisiana
Smith play in high
team.
school as well.
Where he went to where he go to college?
Which one?
Elijah Mitchell.
Fuck, son. UL maybe, or
Yeah, we-
maybe Tech. Louisiana Tech. No, he went to UL.
UL, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, Bijan's the only guy to come out of fucking Tucson, Arizona, bro.
Dude, I did not know that Charles Tillman went to UL. Y'all know who Charles Tillman is. I don't need to fucking insult y'all. Yeah, he went to UL. Holy fuck.
I honestly would never have guessed that.
Toddy said they're gonna rely heavily on soccer style regulation/promotion. So like, if you fucking suck, they cut you out, put you into not the SEC. Definitely gonna be in Pac-12.
There we- That's kind of crazy. So they're gonna probably vote on that. They should do it like one team every year.
So here's my question, right? With the soccer style regulation, obviously this will probably never happen. But you're gonna have. What if SEC cannibalizes itself? Everybody goes 6-3, and then one team in the fucking Big Ten goes 10-0 or 12-0. Motherfuckers just gonna stay there. But luckily, that's theoretical. We'll see. We don't have to deal with that until we actually have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think we're gonna eat ourselves alive, bro. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Honestly, I think so too. I don't think there's gonna be. I'd be shocked if there's a 12-0 season. Honestly,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Prime does.
Well, man, listen, I'll tell you what. I have a fucking 1-year window, bro, and then it's fucking rough.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
And
Like,
it's fucking rough.
yeah, I don't know, bro.
I gotta
You might
start off
you might have
hot.
to demote yourself, bro. You might have to go
Man.
somewhere else.
Travis Hunter with the hardest carry of all time.
Yeah.
Weird.
Fucking bros would be running goes to Travis Hunter.
There we go.
All right, so there's everybody. Sorry, I did as quick as I could and
Yeah, you're good. You're
as
good.
smart as I possibly couldn't do it. So here are.
Series in the Big Ten.
Trying to make it a little bigger there. Okay. All right, so that's the last team in the Big Ten. There is Notre Dame, the top of the right side. That's the one team that got cut off. And Toucan. For some reason, Toucan got cut off too. Toucan is under Beast.
Yeah.
So just keep that in your
He doesn't
visual.
matter.
It's not like he's winning that anyways.
He's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, user-wise,
As you
it's
guys
not
are-
bad spread out, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at. I mean, it's the teams that kind of like have me second guessing as far as like how. But as far as users, I mean, I guess I understand the logic, you know.
Let's play a game. Let's play who do they insult the most with these. My first was LJ. They're insulting they're telling you Texas 92 overall is gonna fucking suck.
I was just about to say that too. What is Texas doing in the worst one?
Yeah.
And Chase and Lamb. Like,
Yeah.
I guess UCLA is pretty trash. Not
Yeah.
that good anymore,
Chase, you're also
USC.
trash, bud. Oh, this is fun. 1 second. They opened their hand by,
No way.
by doing this.
No way.
They really did. They really did.
No, Ramrod.
but Ramrod, yeah.
That's Michigan.
Cherokee,
Yeah,
I mean, dude, Oregon.
They put
Oregon,
Water,
that's
who's
fine.
Illinois, in the second tier.
Oregon's the second best team in NCAA overall wise.
Oregon's a fucking monster like that.
Yeah.
But so here's my question: why did poor Montes, who's UCF, get ranked over Toddy, Aloha, Roy, Cooley?
Because they
All
want
right, so I do have to. I do have to interrupt.
Don't forget about that.
I do have to interrupt. We are going to have 2 commissioners join us on the
Good.
podcast. However, I do have to say goodbye to 2 of you because the max it allows me to have is 6.
I'll take one for the team.
All right, Marnie. Appreciate you, sir.
Of course. I'll keep
Thank you.
watching.
There you go. Okay, who else wants to jump
You want me to
off?
choose?
No.
I'll
You choose.
go. I'll bounce out.
There you go. Prime decided to bounce out. I was going to pick Uno. Fuck Georgia.
Go Dogs.
All right.
Let's
All right.
go.
Aloha and Toddy, you guys have the link. Feel free to join. I think Randy is patiently waiting for you.
Randy
go
wants
to bed
explanations right now.
That's right. 4 a.m. is
Yeah, I
gonna
have to
be
wake up at
calling you
4
soon
a.m.
here.
Eastern Standard Time. We're
Wake up, or that's when you have to be.
that's when I have to wake up.
The grind is real.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to the beach tomorrow afternoon, so I have to go to work early so I can leave early.
I feel less bad.
All
Who we think wins, bro? Who wins the ACC, bro? Who gets that?
ACC? I mean, at
Year,
year
year
one.
one? Are we talking year one?
You were
Year
talking about
one.
year one.
Well,
Um,
I was
what
I
team
was
is
still
Fatty? What team is Fatty?
Fatty's
That is in
Virginia.
Virginia.
They're
Are they
trash.
good?
No, they're trash. They're trash.
Probably Dimes then.
Welcome, Mr.
You
Okay.
fucking
Aloha.
genocider. You fucking murderers. Look how you murdered my boy.
Sorry, I was painting my house. I totally lost track of time. Last thing I cared about was
I hope you painted an L on it, just like these goddamn fucking divisions.
last thing I cared about was Randy's feelings as I was painting that house.
It actually makes me very happy that he's mad about this.
Fucking 3 West Coasters got to decide the fate of the goddamn regions. Like just like real life. This is just like real life.
The Hollywood elites.
Hashtag West Coast bias. Can I fucking
No. I think the biggest thing is we didn't think about regions at all. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you're looking at Oregon going down to play fucking Florida State, but really we're just trying to make it, the competition, make the games fun to play, and that's the cool thing is we can, if this isn't working after a year, if someone's obviously getting the shit kicked out of them, or if Aloha takes Hawaii and goes 12-0, then he can move up and move someone down and move it around. But I think it's a good baseline as far as team skill level, and then we could put a little bit of user stuff in there. We're not gonna. I mean, I like LJ. He's great. He's a good guy, but we're not going to throw him in with you guys with Florida and playing prime and all that kind of stuff. If his team's good and he's doing really well, he has a chance to move up. So it's kind of our thought process there.
I think everybody's waiting for you to speak, Aloha.
One second.
Oh, there you go. That's better. Oh, that was better.
Is that better? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. I missed Toddy's spiel, but I'm guessing they covered everything. Or was there a question to me?
No, I was just saying that we didn't rely on region. We relied on the teams overalls, but at least projected overalls, because they only gave us 25 team overalls. So, and that's why we said things could change. So if one of them comes out and it's way out of whack, then
definitely.
Then we can change this stuff around.
Yeah, I know maybe some people, I didn't hear all of it. I'll watch it back. What was the initial reactions, or did we like the Power 4 idea, breaking it up into 4 teams of 8 with the CPU?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I guessed originally that it was going to be a Power 4 just because 32. It's pretty good way to break it up, split it up. My biggest concern was just regions. I'm being a little facetious. Like I understand why y'all did what y'all did, but also as someone who is an avid college football fan, like seeing it is a shock. It'd be like moving the Giants to fucking the AFC West. Like that. As someone who cares more about college than NFL, that the shock of what makes college football is changed with this.
So Randy, sorry, I missed a little bit of what you said. Because my dog needed dinner. So what was the initial pushback? Or I know some of the teams obviously are mixed around, but I think Toddy covered it. It wasn't Lumber, love him to death. I appreciate his commitment to the league, but him being with like all the other Power 5 teams is like, he's gonna get to play one season with his team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the real like actual, not me being a regional bitch, is that like Prime, who's like he's good as a user, he won't ever recruit to the caliber of the rest of these teams because of where we are in the nation. we're all, Georgia, Miami, Florida, LSU, A&M, Ohio State, Tennessee. Those are all pipeline schools for states that are going to be easier to recruit in than Prime, who's going to have to recruit from Colorado.
Yeah, I could see maybe to an extent, but I mean, I remember NCAA 2014, and I was Hawaii, and I was taking recruits from Florida, Bama.
Yeah, but you weren't
and
playing
Texas.
against real people.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to winning, and we all know Prime can win. I mean, winning's going to trump all the other, that we know of, all the other stuff set in line for recruiting.
No. Recruiting's based on, they're going to have 3 factors, and one of the factors could straight up just not be team prestige. So, like, if there's so I'll give you an example, because this is something I wanted to talk about. Players, like recruits, will actually have archetypes for recruiting, just like coaches have archetypes. For instance, there's one archetype whenever you mix, I think it's wants to play for home, cares about the team, and something else makes what's called the hometown hero. So he wants to stay home. He wants to be the best quarterback for Louisiana, for LSU from Louisiana. So that will always be an advantage that people from Louisiana, Florida, Texas will have over someone from Colorado. Now, Prime might still come out and fucking dog us every fucking game. That might not matter at the end of the day, but he will be at an innate disadvantage based off of what they said in the deep dive.
Well, I mean, he's also fucked because all the Colorado people are going to want to go to CSU. So.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
That too.
Yeah, I mean, Randy, I think also, like, don't let your head explode. Like, this is season 1, right? We can always retool it. Yeah. I think when we were thinking about the Power 4 and how we'd make it, this is what made sense for our first season. So
I'm also just grumpy and tired. Like, this is like an hour past my bedtime.
Yeah. It's fine. Everything's gonna be okay. At the end of the day, we're getting to play video games with some of our closest friends and just have fun doing it. Yeah. So we'll figure it out.
It doesn't matter who's around. Nobody's fucking getting kids from Louisiana, son.
Well, sorry, Jorge, were there, besides Randy almost having a stroke when it got released, were there any other questions that came up that we can answer or help?
No, I mean, for the most part, I think everybody generally understood the overall concept of it, that we're trying to pair, the teams and then users. There was some talk about, the SEC being, I mean, it's like it is in real life. It's an SEC. It's a gauntlet. Like you see all those users that are on there, and like we were talking about it, on the pod. The first firing is coming out of the SEC. There's no way any of us are going 7-3 consistently in the SEC because we're playing each other, and that's gonna create some competition. I mean, good competition, but also you think about the firings and this, that, and the other. Yeah, the SEC's probably gonna have the first one. There was some talk about some being a little heavier weighted than others. But other than that, I think, general comments and, Tyler, you saw most of the comments kind of flying through were pretty much kind of the same. Everybody, was like, oh, pretty cool. Kind of a pretty cool idea to it. I think, the thing you hit on the nail earlier, it's for year 1. These can evolve and continue to change on a year in, year out basis, right? So someone becomes extremely dominant, you realign. It's a one thing we don't have the ability to do in Madden that we have the ability to do now in NCAA. So yeah, to your point, Lumber comes out and kicks ass in the Pac-12. Well, he's going back to the SEC, or vice versa, right? Florida goes 0-12. Well, they may get moved into a different conference where it makes more sense. So I think the rebalancing that the league's going to have year in and year out was pretty cool. Everybody did like, I will say what everybody did like was being able to submit the out of conference games. That was a very positive, well-received kind of message on that. Everybody thought was pretty cool. That we keep some of the rivalries kind of the same.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
I submit to play Florida State.
Yeah, I mean, I love that too. I mean, like me growing up with the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference, Boise was always a huge rival of Hawaii. Like that's going to be one of my request, and then the other one's going to be Randy, just so I can put all his logic to bed and beat the shit out of him with Hawaii.
One thing that I do, this is totally tangential, just because I heard him say Hawaii the proper way. One thing that I was very impressed with in the thing today was that they were going through the the clicker for all of the recruits, and they actually have like different named players. Like there was one dude whose last name was Maluia or Maluia. I can't say it. Aloha. Maluia from Southwest California. So like it was kind of accurate that you do have many Polynesian people that moved to California. So like they do have that in the game where it's not gonna just be random. Like you do have Polynesians that are really good at football. You do have Africans who come from Africa that are really fucking good at football. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I'm looking forward to.
Dude, fuck you. You don't even love my game.
I'm looking forward to catching it.
You didn't read the deep dive 3 times already?
No, I had a busy day, and then I had to go sand all my siding and paint it before the sun went down. So
I'm a low one. I'm an adult. No, but for actual competition wise, I get it. Like that was very balanced for competition.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I think a lot of our user base is also. I mean, we know who's good, right? There's a clear tier of good users, but it's a new game. There's going to be a new feel. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of newness. It's not going to be the same copy paste Mad. I mean, from what we know, right? I mean, it could. But I think it's going to be fun. Like at the end of the day, this is going to be so much fun. Like I pre-ordered the MVP bundle today because I finally got around to doing it and just had the countdown up. Like I'm just looking forward to playing it again. I mean, I used to have this thing on my PSP when I was traveling to football camps in high school. Like I'm just looking forward to that. I mean, at the end of the day, it could not work, and we'll just go back to square one.
Yeah. So quick, you're most excited to play with Aloha and Toddy from your team.
I don't fucking know anyone on my team. I'm college football. I know they have a wide receiver that's pretty good. I've seen people talk about they're going to target him in the transfer portal.
Yep. I don't think he's there anymore. I think he graduated or he's in the NFL. But Colorado State had a safety that his one goal in the entire game against Colorado was to actually put Travis Hunter on a fucking stretcher. like you could tell, like they were like, oh, this guy's just not playing well, and Travis Hunter would go out of bounds, dude would fly in from across the fucking screen and smoke him. You're like, yeah, this kid's just not playing. This is a very sportsman of this kid. He's like, I don't think this kid fucking cares. I think he just wants to kill him.
I'm gonna do that when I play Prime too.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I'm gonna lose 75-3. But I'm gonna take out that whole wear and tear system is gonna take him out.
Yeah, I'm trying to find his name, but it was pretty funny. It was like, yeah, I think he's Jack Howell. That was his name.
Yeah, I think he might still be there.
I think he is too. I think he's going into his senior year.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. Yeah, and they were and
it may be like a fifth-year senior.
Yep, that was his whole thing. Was like, I think he's gonna kill Travis Hunter. And he did. He broke Travis Hunter's ribs by the end of the night. Yeah. But that dude was a fucking machine.
So I just pulled up the YouTube page, which is funny because it's like a few seconds behind. But I see some questions coming in about firing. Did we already get those answered?
Well, the question came up earlier. Randy kind of gave us a little bit of a response to it. It'd be good to get the official one. In the game, from what we've read and understood, you can't get fired. And if you get fired, you must downgrade kind of the school prestige of where you were at. The question came up, are we allowing firing to occur? Is that one of the settings we're going to leave on?
Yeah, for sure.
And then B, if it is on, kind of how is that process? Are we allowed to just pick whatever team we want to kind of go to at that point? That, is a level below? How does that work for, let's say, and I use, let's use Cozy as an example. He's at, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, and I don't know how much further down you can go than that. Or B said Army. You're I don't know how much lower you can go. How does what are your
I
thoughts
think it's.
there?
I mean, Toddy, I think we talked about this one very early on, but correct me if not, or give us your thoughts. I mean, I think we'll definitely keep firing on, and you can't if you get fired, you can't go. I mean, unless you're like if someone from the SEC gets fired, it wouldn't like I could totally see them going to like an ACC program, like
Right.
that makes sense. But like if me, Toddy, Roy, Kuz, I mean, if we get fired, we have to go to like Texas State, UTEP. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if those teams are really badass, but like we're gonna have to go to some pretty low programs and make our way back. I think we got to keep some realism to it, for sure.
And then vice versa, schools like use let's say Cooley at Utah. Cooley does well, wins. Could he go to Bama?
Bama, Notre Dame. I mean, in the game, it's going to offer him, so he can.
It's going to offer him, right?
Yeah, he can take whatever one. I think only if it offers you. That would be my
right.
My stance. I mean, I'm open to voting it. We can vote it in elite and then vote it in the league, but I would say only the offers you get. Just because you have one good year out of nowhere with the X program doesn't mean you should get the launching board to Bama.
So I think that's as someone who read it, that's gonna be part of it. Is that like Alabama isn't gonna just go fucking hire Coach Toddy from Colorado State for winning 8 games.
Not if he wipes the whole SEC out.
Right.
Yeah.
But his requested games are going to be Randy, Jorge, Uno.
Yeah, but like the schools will actually take into consideration. I'll fucking give you a fucking. Yeah. So the schools
are looking that up.
I think I read that too.
But think about Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer went from Utah to Florida after a year that he was there. I don't think he was at Utah very, very, very long. I mean, you look at the sexy hires that are made and coaches that are hired from smaller programs, they're usually there for a year, 2 max.
Okay, here we go. Each school has a school persona, which determines what they are looking for in their next coach. Schools will evaluate candidates based on the candidate's coaching level, scheme, archetype, pipeline, and coach prestige. So if you're like a level fucking 2 with a D coach prestige, you're not gonna get the offer from fucking Alabama no matter what.
You're not getting offered from anyone, I would hope.
Yeah. Yeah, but just as an example, like you will have you're not just gonna fucking walk into fucking, especially with the way the conferences are. Like not many people are gonna go fucking 12-0.
Yeah, no.
So here's another question: are we gonna do custom created coaches, or we're going to assume the coach is already there? Because to your point, Randy, the coaches are not in the game? No,
they couldn't pay for all the coaches. It's not that they couldn't pay. There is no way to pay the entirety of NCAA coaches. Because college football players have the association to pay for them. College football coaches do not have the equivalent of the NFL coaching association. They don't have that, so they would have had to go to each coach for all 134 teams and try to make a contract specifically for them. Whereas with the players, they could sign with the whole NCAA Players Association to get them all.
So let me rephrase my question: the existing coaches that are there are going to be modeled after the active coach there. So that coaching prestige that you mentioned, if we all create coaches, does that reset the bar for all of us?
Yeah. I have no idea. Like they did not talk about the differences, and I think they didn't talk about it obviously just because, like, when it comes to most of these things, like we don't take coaches. They did at all. Like that was never even a topic. I assume you have to, right? Like Kirby Smart from Georgia has to have his coaching stuff,
right?
I would assume, and I guess this goes back to like, what type of fucking glitches will we see day one when we do this?
We're probably gonna have to start over a couple times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Madden 21 and 22.
Yeah, that'll give me plenty of time to get these fucking conferences back. Chat.
There you go. Randy's slowly gonna start moving back to regional.
Yep, I'm gonna do it. The MK
Well,
glitch.
the thing with the coaches, I think that's one we just have to wait and see. I mean, I personally like it when we did Madden and everyone made a custom coach, because then you start off on the same level as everybody. But I just don't know how that's going to work in college, because there is the coaching prestige. And it's going to kind of screw you because the computer's not going to do that. They're going to have their coaches, and they're going to have prestige, and they're going to get the recruits over you. So,
Right.
something we're definitely, we haven't talked about. So, something we're definitely going to have to talk about.
Is custom coaches confirmed for the game?
Yeah. If I can. Yes, custom coaches are in the game.
It might just have like its own auto-generated coaches.
You can create a coach. That was.
Yeah, because you can like a motivator and like a.
And they showed they showed like a split-second screen of it, of like the actual like modeling the coach.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just like Madden from there. Not gonna be anything crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to do that, but I mean, this is a very in-depth game, so
yeah,
not really sure if we do that, what ramifications it would have. So we'll definitely have to think about it.
West Coast bias. I just saw you change your name on there. All right. Well, for the sake of time, we are at an hour and a half.
I gotta go to bed.
We ran through all the burning questions. I think our next pod, Randy, you and I just break down the recruiting aspect of it and kind of do a deep dive into the recruiting portion of it all. Rico, Uno, any last second thoughts from the two of you before we circle around?
Fuck you, Gordo.
It's good.
Need the game to come out sooner.
Yeah.
For real.
I don't want to wait 2 weeks.
Fucking awful, man. I don't even like college football. I'm just so excited for this game.
This is why you shouldn't be in charge of the goddamn conferences, old man. Cut your throat, watch the dust fall out.
All right, Mr. Randy, any parting words for you, sir?
I still win the SEC.
Yeah, year 30 maybe.
And then
you win the.
I'm trying to go off
SEC.
the dome. I can't remember any of these fuckers. Dimes wins the whatever the fuck he was in.
ACC.
ACC. Lamp. Yeah, pull it up so I don't have to fucking do this off my fucking sleepy dome.
I got
you. You think Lamp's gonna win that division over Cooley or?
No. I thought. Wait, Cooley's in Utah. He's Utah.
Yeah, Cooley's Utah.
Yeah, Cooley.
They're
I can see
rated
Cooley.
really high.
Utah's gonna be rated well because I think. I don't know. Okay, so me obviously next. Maybe Moosey. I can see Moosey from UNC. SEC me. ACC will go Moosey year 1 because there's not going to be any defense yet. Big will go. I'm calling the shot. Share because of the Oregon's defense is going to be insane this year. I think. I don't know. I'm really nervous to say shit about overalls after what I fucking saw about Colorado, guys. And then in the Pac-12, we got I'm gonna go with Washington. I think Washington's gonna win.
Go CPU. CPU goes 12-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Cooley.
Yeah, I mean, I like Cooley there too. I can see Chase if he has his head on straight.
He won't.
Because I mean, SC is probably the highest rating. Well, I don't know. SC and Utah are probably pretty close in ratings. Then for the big, I'm gonna go not Rico for sure.
Fuck you, Toddy.
I can see Toucan coming out of that. And I think Sharon Ramrod are going to be good just because their teams are really good. And who knows? I mean, it's a new game. They could be, they could come out and be awesome. ACC probably Dimes, and then SEC. I don't fucking know. I'm going to give it to who's the youngest person there? Not Declan. Never mind. I'm not picking Declan. Let's go. I can't choose Randy. I'm going to go Uno.
There you go, the Georgia boy. Okay. All right, to close us out, I think in the pack, I'm gonna go with the surprise here. I think Lamp. I think Lamp finds a way. He's always finds a way to throw the ball really well. We'll see how it translates to college, but I like him just because of his play style. Big. I also like Cherokee. I think he gonna have a leg up with that team, and people having to go into West Coast to go play. I wonder if that plays a role in the game at all with the player fatigue at all. It'll be interesting to kind of see that. ACC, I do agree. I like Clay as a sneaky person, a dark horse kind of person to win the ACC, but I think either Moosey or Dimes is probably likely with Fatty being in contention there. And then the SEC, man, that's just a gauntlet, man. I got to go with some of the vets that have done well, and I'm gonna go with Jalen. I think Jalen will have a good team. He's a very, very good user, and he'll take advantage of that, especially that year one mark, which I think will help him kind of going forward with the Texas pipeline and all that other fun jazz there. Rico, who are your winners, sir?
Not Toddy because he sucks. Actually, no, I'm gonna say Toddy. I gotta give my ginger cookie bear some love.
It ain't happening, but thank you.
Not give me Chapman. I'm also gonna go Dimes. I'm gonna say fuck it and say AJ wins the SEC. And I just think that all our defenses are going to be so bad that Beast is going to win the Big Ten. He's just going to run the ball for 800 yards a game.
Okay. All right. Rico. All right, Uno. Closes out. What do you think, sir?
So the pack, I think Texas is going to be so good that LJ is going to get that done. Texas is too good of a team not to be winning. The Big Ten. I guess I'm gonna go Cherokee. I'm gonna stick with the same logic for that, and then I'm gonna go Water, bro. Water's gonna end up winning that. I have full faith. And I'm gonna take myself. I'm getting it done. Go
If it's not you though, if it's not you though, who would it be?
It's not me.
Alabama.
It's not me. I'm gonna go Jalen and Randy for how much he's gonna play the game. He's gonna be up there too.
All right.
The thing with Randy is he watches so much video and he does so much like YouTube videos and shit that he just gets in his own way. You'll see him on there talking about I'm gonna fucking take press 30 buttons when he's on defense and he'll still get a fucking bomb over his head. he tries too much. He's a tryhard.
Especially for the game he loves. And the game he's very, very passionate about. So I can definitely I can definitely see that. All right. Well, that puts us just over an hour and a half. Appreciate everybody that kind of stayed on to the pod. Couple comments here before we depart. We had a Gordo telling Rico a couple choice words.
Is that a threat or a promise?
I don't know, bro. Y'all take that off.
Maybe that song earlier. really got him thinking about how he's been treating you.
Yeah, bro.
Maybe.
That song was fire.
That was Gordo. You better have listened to it by now.
Zero love for Declan. He's a little sad.
Declan's getting fired.
Yeah, he is.
Toddy, what was the
He may
thought
be the
process of Declan in that division? Or that conference?
I didn't do that. That was a little hard.
Was it just so he gets fired?
No, I didn't have any part of that one. Probably, I mean, Tennessee's gonna most likely be rated, higher.
Yeah, he'll be up there.
So,
well,
definitely
I
doesn't
like.
play his games anyway, so he's gonna get.
There you go. It's like playing CPU, anyways.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys all joining. Commish, thank you guys for hopping on here late to answer some of the critical burning questions. Hopefully not when you pee. Other than that, fellas, you guys have a good Tuesday night. Appreciate you guys hopping on. If I don't talk to you before the 4th, happy 4th of July to everyone. Go do something American on that day if you don't do it any other day. Definitely do it that day and salute folks that do what they do to give us the ability to do that. So again, with that being said, have a good night. Appreciate y'all. Until next time.
All right. Peace.